This is the plaintiff, Patricia Augustine. She says she rented and paid for a 3-bedroom condo near Disney World for herself, her husband, and 2 women with developmental issues she cares for. Unfortunately, due to an unforeseen illness, she had to cancel the trip. The defendant told her to give them something in writing. She did. He ignored her, and she just wants her $2,236 returned so they can reschedule the trip for a better time. This is the defendant, Steve. He says the plaintiff called him on Christmas Eve to cancel due to illness, and he agreed to let her reschedule for another time. A few months later, she demanded a full refund. The woman started harassing him, and he's sorry, but he doesn't give refunds. He's accused of refusing to return money.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff rented a 3-bedroom condo near Disney World for a family and some others, but somebody got sick. They had to cancel the trip. Can't get the security back. But the defendant says, no refunds. It's the case of your condo is Mickey Mouse.
Patricia Augustine? Yes. You are suing Steve, the owner of the company. You've asked us not to mention your last name or the company name of this vacation rental home,
Preferable,
correct?
Yes.
Okay. For $2,236 that you want returned to you. That's the entire rental price of a home that, according to you, you canceled within the time period. Tell me what's going on here.
Okay. I have a friend in Florida that recommended me to rent from their place, so I called them down there.
What city is it in?
Pardon me?
What city is it in?
New York.
Kissimmee, ma'am.
Okay.
Kissimmee. The house is in Kissimmee?
Oh, the house is in Kissimmee. I'm sorry.
No,
yes.
that's all right. Kissimmee.
Kissimmee, yeah.
Okay.
And they recommended
Kissimmee,
me,
which is like
Orlando.
Right near Orlando, really. It's where all the parks are.
Yeah, so I called him in 2011, the first vacation that we had with him, and he told me he was the president of Venetian Bay Village, a place that we were going to rent from, and he could set me up. Well, he lied to me because there was no internet there. There was no telephone. It took him 2 weeks to get back to me. And I was a little annoyed, and I wrote to his company, and expressed my feelings that I was a little annoyed because he got nasty with me. He said, an incident that happened, he said, oh, you don't like the place, you should have told me about it, blah, blah, blah.
Wait, so did you actually go to you vacationed there once before?
I vacationed once off of him in 2011.
Okay.
Yes. And it was a beautiful place, absolutely beautiful. But now 2012, we want to go on vacation again.
But why would you pick his same company if you're telling me he was a liar in 2011?
I blame that on Mr. Augustine because he decided he really liked
in
the
place. In the long, illustrious tradition of blaming things on Mr. Augustine, how long have you, Mrs. Augustine, and Mr. Augustine been married?
49 years.
49 years. God bless you. God bless you.
Way too long.
So what? So he too long? Is that what she said?
The place was absolutely beautiful, and I called the defendant and I said, if you will have us back as tenants again, we would like to do it. Because he liked the location. He didn't have to learn all new roads. He hates the GPS. He didn't have to fight. So
at least not with the GPS.
Yeah. January 9th, I signed a contract, and I paid in full $2,036 plus a $200 deposit. And it was for a 1-month rental from March 4th to April 4th.
And who was it for? Who was going to go?
I have, on January of 2013, I retired from my job as a family care provider of 23 years, and Mr. Augustine as well. And we have 2 clients. One of them would be a blind lady, and the other, both of them have developmental disabilities.
Okay.
How old are they? This was their vacation.
This is their vacation. How old are they?
The blind lady is 71 years old. We've had her for 23 years. And the gentleman that we had, it was 54 years. We've had him for a few years. We've had many over the years, but this is what we were at this time. And I mentioned to the defendant that I have to cancel because I was sick. I didn't know how long we were going to be with this illness, but I have to pay these people back their $559.
Right. When did you tell him you can't make it?
On January the 27th, I took sick, and I called him February 2nd, and I told him I will reschedule. I was looking to reschedule.
Okay, you called him on February 2nd.
Right. And
okay, according to you, she didn't call you February 2nd.
I thought it was February 4th, Your Honor.
You think that she called you on February 4th?
Correct.
Okay.
I called him February 2nd, and I explained to him.
Do you have phone records to show that you called him on February 2nd?
I have facts. I have the contract here.
Right. I saw tons of faxes and emails. They're all way later. What I want is something to show me. And the reason that I'm asking this is why? Because your contract says you have to cancel 30 days beforehand.
Okay.
Right. So I need to see a cancellation 30 days beforehand.
All I have is the email that I sent to him.
What date is that?
I have February 2nd when I spoke with him.
Wait, let me see that. Let me see what you have that says February 2nd.
Yeah.
What is that?
This is a fax.
Do you have proof of fax for February 2nd?
Yeah.
I didn't see that in your submission of evidence. I saw stuff starting February 17th, not February 2nd. So do you have proof that I see this that you wrote, and this is dated February 2nd. Now I need proof that you faxed it on February 2nd. That's all I need. How did she notify you? By telephone?
Telephone.
Nobody has their phone records so we can see when that call was placed? That's like the critical issue in the case.
Your Honor, I called the phone company Verizon, and I asked them, I gave them all the dates of the two.
All you need is your phone statement for February 2nd.
Well, that's what I was asking them for. And they told me because of the service that I have, they can't do that. I would have to subpoena.
That's just silly. You can get your own phone records, ma'am. You could get your own phone records.
They said I have to subpoena them in because all they give me is local. So I couldn't get them.
Do you have to subpoena phone records, anybody?
I don't think it's for regular phone numbers. I know for mobile phones, like text messaging, yes, those have to be subpoenaed.
ARF, going inside the courtroom.
Your Honor, I have a small claims court paperwork here that she clearly states canceled on 2/4.
Yeah, let's talk about that a second. I noticed that. In your original small claims filing, the date you wrote was February 4th.
February 4th, I have that right here.
Right. But you have to have canceled by February 2nd to make it in 30 days because there's only 28 days in February. So, but in a letter to you before she files her lawsuit, she says February 2nd, right?
I don't recall.
Well, why don't you show me? Let me try to recall. Show me all the emails you received from her, any correspondence you received from her at all, letters, anything.
On which day, Your Honor?
Everything. Give me everything for the second stay.
Okay.
And don't keep anything out. I'm watching you. That's why my bailiff is next. You know?
All in.
Go ahead. I'll sift through that. I'm used to this. I'm a very good snoop. I've done this for many years. Was a prosecutor for years. Let's take care of this. Who is Mara?
My wife.
Okay, so she sent a letter to your wife in October saying that you're a thief?
Well, we didn't get to that point yet. Yes. You have to understand.
That he stole from the handicapped. I mean, look, this is a contracts case. I think it's lovely what you do for a living, and I feel compassion for the people that you're talking about. But you don't win because of something like that. If you were the most odious human in the world and you were right, you'd still win in my courtroom because the law is the law is the law. Yeah, it's not a matter of who the judge feels sympathy for.
I thought I could shame him into sending me money.
I don't know. I think that's smart. It's just, I'm trying to explain why you can't shame me. That's all.
Absolutely, yeah.
There is nothing I love more than an honest person. I just love that. All right. So here's the contract. What reason do you have to keep her deposit, her security deposit? That's just if she damages the place. She didn't even go in there.
Well, I thought she was going to reschedule, therefore.
Yeah, but then in October, when she's calling you a thief to your wife, you're pretty clear she's not going to reschedule, right?
Well,
Your Honor.
I assume that would be, I guess, correct.
Did you email him?
I emailed him in October.
Show me the proof of the email on February 2nd, because I see you use email.
I don't have that one, no.
Come on, man, help me help you. I'm begging you.
First I called him and told him, and he said, put it in writing.
Great, so put it in writing. You use email. You're email literate. You use email, you use fax. You tell me you faxed it, you have no proof you faxed it. You use email, you never bothered to email it. You tell me you called him, you don't show me phone records to show me that you called him.
I haven't got the phone records.
Well, I know, but you have two other methods. Fax and email right at your fingertips, and you also don't have that.
All I have is the fax that I sent to him.
Which was sent when?
It was, and then the 4th.
Don't move on. Yeah. Show me the proof of when that fax was sent.
Okay, this is no good because it has no date on it.
It's got no proof of fax transmission, which I know you know what that is because you did provide for me in evidence 7 other fax transmission log sheets.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about, right? We got each other. You got a problem.
Okay.
You got a problem. Now, you're certainly entitled to your $200 security deposit back. It's inexcusable for you to keep that. And because the contract says that he has to mitigate his damages, if he re-rents it, he doesn't get to collect twice, which I have the contract right here of March 30, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4, the 5 days that he was able to rent it out. So she's entitled to 5 days, so that's $595 she should be getting back.
Correct.
Plus the $200 of the security deposit that you have no business keeping. So she should see back $795, correct? Based on the contract.
Yes.
Okay, that's what she's going to see, $795, verdict for the plaintiff. Good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Let's first get some comment from the defendant on this verdict. What is it?
I think the judge ruled fairly. I did collect the rent of a couple of days, and Mrs. Augustine was entitled to that.
Are you surprised about the fight that she's put up here?
No, I'm not surprised.
No? Why?
I kind of expected it. It's a year of harassing and menacing emails and phone calls, and I'm glad it's over.
Yeah, she's pretty feisty, isn't she? All right, you are glad it's over. Okay, head right around the corner there. All right, Ms. Augustine, come on in here. You win your case. You don't get everything you sued for. You get a certain amount.
Right, yes. No, I'm kind of surprised, but I canceled a month in advance, but I didn't have the telephone, so
Yeah, too bad you couldn't prove that.
Verizon said I had to bring them to court to do it. I didn't have time
What's
to
it
do
like
that,
being
you know.
married for 49 years?
Wonderful. I'll keep him around another 49 years.
Over to Harvey.
The judge talked about mitigating damages. It means you can't sit in your hands and watch your damages build. You have to be reasonable.